I would once again like to invite Mr. Deepak Jain in an exclusive interview with Mr. PD Singh, ED SBI Mutual Fund. The journey so far and plan ahead.
Good afternoon, friends. We are very fortunate to have Mr. DP Singh, the Executive Director for SBI Mutual Fund, and we'll be discussing some very important and very informative things from Mr. Singh. Sir, how are you?
Good, Deepak ji. Nice talking to you. You're looking very smart today at that time.
Same here, sir. Same here. Sir, I'll start by asking the first question. How has your journey been in the mutual fund industry and how have you seen the mutual fund industry evolve over time?
Yeah. Deepak ji, I joined mutual fund industry in year 1998. It's more than 2 decades now, and I'm associated. And so things have evolved in a manner that the investors as well as the partners have evolved a lot. When I joined the mutual fund, meaning was on nothing else but equities, and the practices, business practices are such that there were some schemes which were giving a week earlier NAVs. Like if somebody is putting money on Wednesday, he will get the NAV of Friday. And the way reportings were made, and there was no sensitivity on timings, there was no sensitivity, it was just going on very small industry. And if I precisely remember, it was around less than 1 lakh crore total AUM. So that is the time when I joined, and over the period of time, what we have seen is absolute evolvement of investors, distributors, and the evolvement of regulations. I will say that's the best thing which has happened. And today we are in an era where everything is seen the globally best. The regulations, especially, we are far ahead of some of the developed countries also, and this is all in the interest of investors who are putting their trust, their money, their everything with mutual fund.
Great, sir. So my next question is, you have been associated with SBI Mutual Fund from its initial days. What has made it the number one AMC in India?
See, this is basically the DNA of the organization. The DNA of the organization being the parents, very strong parents, State Bank of India on the one side and a Mundi on the other side, when we have a joint venture with a Mundi. And both are leaders in their respective geographies. SBI, when I need not tell anything about it, and the over the period of time, the customer centricity, and in our case investor centricity, is the key. And the geographical reach, the distribution reach of SBI and the brand SBI has made it happen. Of course, over the period of time, we have, unfortunately, we have done all the right things. While saying so, I'm not at all saying that others are doing wrong things, but whatever we have tried to do right has actually turned out to be right and in the interest of investors. People have put in more and more of trust. Distribution reach was already there, and the kind of executive team, the kind of team which has been created over the period of time, and the processes which we have brought into the system are the industry best, and not only in India, maybe globally also. Even our joint venture partner Amundi says they are when we did joint venture with them to get some of their best practices. But today, of course, we have got their best practices, but they are also getting a lot of best practices from our fund house and taking it to other countries. So over the period of time, we have really done a good job in putting the templatization, putting the structures, putting the processes in place. That is what has made SBI Mutual Fund number one fund house in the country.
So what are the achievements of the AMC which you are proud of?
No, I'm proud of one thing. See, One, we are a retail fund house. We are getting investments from 97% of the pin codes of the country. Whatever
Okay.
number, so that we did one study that we in our fund house we have around 10 million investors now, and these 10 million investors, when we looked at the data, are coming from 97%, and out of
Great.
remaining 3% are those which are not reachable, which are very difficult, or some are like Parliament House or Ministry of Defence or so on and so forth, which are not reachable, where business cannot happen. So 97%, that's the first achievement we have been able to do. Second, in the retail category also, when we have taken the responsibility of creation of market for the industry. Honestly speaking, when we got the data last year, 63% of the new folios which were opened in camps, whatever number of new folios were there, 63% of those folios were opened in SBI mutual fund. And these, once we get the new investors, the investors of course become the industry investors. They keep on spreading the wings and they keep on going to one fund house or the other fund house. So we are proud of that we are bringing a lot of new investors into the industry. That's another point which we feel that this is our responsibility. Being leaders, we have to look at it that the size of the pie increases rather than getting share. Share, so in any case, we'll get, but we have the responsibility of increasing the size of the industry, which will benefit the industry at large.
That's great, sir. We are really proud of the achievements that the AMC has made. So, what are the areas in which you feel SBI AMC could have done better, and what are your current focus areas?
No, see, what I will say, we could have done better. We could have become number one much earlier. We have got late, and we could have much better. Investor we have brought in. Actually, most work has happened during the last 6-7 years. This should have been done little earlier. We were late, so that's I will say. I mean, had it been earlier, it would have been better. But never mind, when we are there, and we'll continue to add value to the investors' money. See, we are of the opinion, the way our parents says that bankers to every Indian, we want to be the fund manager to every Indian. We want to be wealth creator for every Indian. That is what our vision is.
And what are your focus areas, sir, going forward?
Focus area is getting more and more people into the mutual fund industry. That's number one. And number two, the two things. Rather than pushing products, we want to push solutions. That is number two, and we want to really work on this asset allocation. Asset allocation is the key, because the distributors and the people who are selling mutual funds, they are mostly biased towards one asset class, either in debt or in equity, or in liquid only. So we want any investor should have say money in all the asset classes. The liquid is one. Within debt, I mean, there's the short term, there's a medium term, there's long term debt, and see the kind of tax efficiency which is available, the benefit should go to the investors. So the idea is solutions and asset allocation. These are the two key areas which we are working on. We want to see that anybody who is having money in mutual fund should have money in debt funds, in equity funds, and in ultra short term or liquid fund also. We want to complete financial solution for individual. It should not be seen that I want to put only some money for equities. So mutual funds can provide solutions for is a quasi banking product. When all the products which are there in banking industry, they are their replicas there in mutual fund industry. So industry should be providing 100% solution. That is the key. That is something which we have to work on.
So, what are some new funds which we might see from SBI coming to into the markets going forward?
No, new funds will be only solution based. There will be nothing just for the heck of it. Wherever we feel confident, like for solutions, like we would like to see come out with retirement funds. When we talk about the retirement fund, so generally people say that this is for the people who are going to retire in the next 5 years. But the idea is different. Idea is this retirement fund is an accumulation fund where anybody from 30, 35 years of age because of the retirement planning. Retirement planning, and second big thing is because of the longevity going up. Now you cannot say that I have to save for 5 years more, 10 years more. This is going to be 25 to 30 years more. With the more and more medical science improving, the longevity, the retirement age in the organic sector is generally 60. Now it is moving towards 65. That's why we have to be proactive, and we have to see that people save enough for their retirement, which can be much bigger. And second, our effort will be to make people think about not only wealth but health also. So we like to do something that the people understand. Though this is not our area, but we like to see, because unless until you are healthy, you cannot see, because you cannot just sit at home at 60. 60 is the new normal. Actually, there are so many studies which say that the highest productivity level is between 55 and 65. So when people are going to be productive, and businesses we see, people keep on working for 70, 75 years of age. When we have to make people aware that their retirement age, actually the money which they are using should be there for, if you are really retiring at 60, it should be there for at least 30 years. Or keep on working when till the time you can, and save for the remaining years. So this is what thought process is, and we will come with the solution based funds. Retirement being one, then children fund. We would like to people to put more money into the children benefit funds, so on and so forth. And general vanilla products in any case are there. We would like to scale them up, take them to a level. When I am foreseeing the equity fund should be, one first equity fund in the industry should be a 1 lakh crore, which should come from our funders. That is the medium term vision.
Great, sir. Sir, we have more than 1,000 distributors who are right now listening to this talk between you and me. What is your message to them, and how would you like them to grow their business? This is one thing which I constantly get questions. Please help us to know what should be our focus areas as distributors, and where should we focus our attention on to grow that business and get more investors, which is, I think, in sync with your vision as a AMC is.
See, investor as distributors and manufacturers like AMCs are on the same page. They have to be on the same page, and the focus area has to be the investor. Both of us to work in the interest of investor. And the potential is huge. Distributor should not worry, because one, potential is huge. Now the growth journey is huge with the kind of income models which have evolved over the period of time. The retail this trail model which has evolved. We have to understand one thing very clearly, that we have to create entity. More and more business has to be brought in, and there's potential is huge among us. Actually, whatever we are looking at 26 lakh crore, 27 lakh crores today, when I can foresee it's going to be 50 lakh crores very, very soon. And the distributors are going to have the pie of that thing. That is number one. And number two, we have to keep one thing in mind, that margins are shrinking globally. So margins are shrinking in our businesses also. Margins will further shrink for distributors. Margins will further shrink for AMC. So we have to work together to keep the central focus on the investors, keeping the investor in the focus area. The point is that the expenses of the scheme, also the regulator is, whatever regulator is doing, we also have to understand there has to be fair expenses in each and every scheme. See, we have to take a percentage of the yields, especially when I talk about the debt funds. These expenses have to be dynamic. Just to put a question in this place today, the yields of debt funds have come to 4.5%. Most of the funds, the short duration funds, come to 4.5% to 5.5%. And some of the funds in the category, these funds are charging as high as 1.5 to 2% as the expense ratio. So these kind of expense ratios are not sustainable. We have to understand that we have to do more volumes with less expense ratio, less margins for the mutual funds, little less margin for distributors also, so as to make our businesses sustainable. This is something which is इसको बोलते हैं कड़वी बात है पर सच्ची बात है. So we have to be aware about this, that we have to work on this and keep on increasing your knowledge about not only about the markets, not only about the products, but use of digital tools also. Today, Indian citizens are becoming netizens. Now the new term has come: citizens and netizens. And with netizens, you can do much more volume. And this is not going to be digital alone. This is going to be phygital. You have to be there. Your role is very important. Only digital will not work. So phygital will work. Only citizens are not there. Netizens are going to be your next other thing. The netizens are youngsters. Netizens are even the old people, even the middle-aged people are absolutely savvy on using the technical gadgets. So unless until you upscale yourself, you will not be able to do the kind of volumes which we are talking about. You have to handle 10 times more business what you are doing today, without increasing your cost, without increasing your say manpower or a bit of manpower. I mean, you have to do much more business. So being absolutely hands on digital assets and being knowledgeable about the products and the tax laws is absolutely necessary. We have to invest on ourselves. We are trying to do whatever we are trying to do for the involvement of distributors. In fact, let me share with you, I'm very happy to share with you. In the last 15 days, we have done at least 15 seminars with industry experts for the distributors, for engaging with them on see knowing about the retirement see benefits and the way retirement funds have to be managed. How about the financial planning? How about this thing? We have done 15 and we have said there's no limit. We can do hundreds of that. Only thing is we will put the 2 steps forward. You also have to come 2 steps forward, so as we reach and we evolve an army of very evolved distributors who are knowledgeable, and nobody will see mind paying fee. Nobody will mind paying expenses if you are adding value. And put together, we have to do it together, and we'll work together. I'm sure, God willing, I will be a 50 lakh crores industry in next couple of years, and all of this will come to you from your kitty only. Forget about some direct business. Forget about some people who are doing it by remote. Because even if you factor that 10% of that out of 50 lakhs, even 5 lakh goes there also. Even then, the journey from 27 lakh, 26, 27 lakh crores to 50 or 45 lakh crores is a huge jump in next couple of years or 3 years. The potential is huge. You have seen yourself how much people have started putting money in this thing. But one thing is also, so remember the asset allocation. Every distributor has to be in all the asset classes. Knowing the product and knowing the solution, knowing the suitability for the customer is of utmost necessity. That's my message. That's what we are working on, and we are walking the talk. We are not just saying it. If you look at all our actions in the fund house, whatever we talk, we do that. We talk about children benefit life. We talk about retirement fund. We are the first who came out with Bandhan SWP, where you can put money in your own name. We are retirees also. Even if you have to pay money to when if somebody is retiring, and after retirement, even if he has to pay money to his kith and kin, so he can get the SWP. The money will go to his son's account, his daughter's account, his daughter-in-law's account automatically from his folio without him transferring his money, because that is the basic thing. Anybody who is retiring must never ever see give his money to somebody for taking care of him. Keep in with him, then do SWP, Bandhan SWP in the name of whomsoever you want to give, wherever you want to give out of love or affection. You can send it from your folio. So that's the facility which we are providing. We are very serious about this concept, and I think our intentions, हमारी जो नीयत है हमें और आगे लेके जाएगी. हमारी नीयत बिल्कुल सच्ची है और हम सच में इन्वेस्टर्स का और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स का ध्यान रखना चाहते हैं. We are all part of the same game, and there has to be value for everyone.
for the participants. Thank you very much for being with us and enlightening us and the distributors and other finance professionals in the seminar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Deepak Ji. Thank you very much.
Thanks.